All right, and Sarah is going to present to us the National Conservation District Employee Association Virtual Leadership webinar. So Sarah, and I'm going to advance the slides for you today, is that correct?
Yep, that works great. Thank you.
Very good.
All right, well, good morning, everyone, and thank you for giving me a little bit of time on your very busy schedule. I know this is a little bit off track just from presenting. I don't work for a conservation agency, but really felt it was important to share some of this, and it kind of tied into what everyone, kind of the theme of what was going on for your virtual conventions. So we're going to talk a little bit about leadership in a changing environment today. And so NCDEA, for those of you who may not know, is a membership organization for conservation district employees across the country. Among other things, we really pride ourselves on facilitating capacity building. We want to be able to not only help improve the conservation delivery system to producers and partners, but we also want to help conservation district employees advance professionally. And so through a lot of different conversations, we've gone through some different formats, and I'm going to talk a little bit about those. And then I'm going to talk about how we've had to shift just a little bit in how we do presentations and our outreach. So let's go back to 2019. We had a lot of different conversations internally and externally with partners and other conservation district employees on, you know, what do you want? What do you need? What would help you advance as an employee? And we oftentimes, I think, tend to focus on some of the more technical trainings and education events. And so Chessa Fromm, who is the North Central regional director, and myself had a conversation about, you know, what if we really focused on some of the more, you know, the leadership side of it, the professional development side of things outside of the technical aspect of our jobs. And so we came up with this idea of doing a leadership conference. So we decided to keep it small. We did our two regions co-partnered on this to host it. And we decided to bring in folks to talk about a lot of different topics, none of them technical in terms of practices or cost share options or anything like that. We wanted to keep it kind of upper level, 10,000 foot, how to be a better employee and a better leader. So we chose Sioux Falls as kind of our central location, relatively easy to get to. And I'll be honest, I really hoped for like 12 people, including the 5 NCDEA folks that we said had to come. And we blew that expectation out of the water. I was thrilled. We had 80 participants. I think we had 10 states represented there, and we spent 2 days talking and learning professional development. We had folks present to us on customer service. We talked about the National Conservation Planning Partnership. We had a great conversation about that. At that time, we were still in the planning phases of the new website, so we had some really great feedback on that. We talked about managing your work and your life balance. And probably the greatest thing that we had was our peer learning roundtables. So basically, conservation district employees sitting around a table just talking to each other. And we were lucky to have folks from all over the regions. So I think that was probably the thing we got the most comments on, was how interesting it was to ask questions of other district employees in terms of management, in terms of dealing with people, dealing with programs, and just having some good conversations. So we took those conversations and we started planning our next event, which was our 2020 professional development series at the NACD convention. So we've been lucky to be able to work with the NCPP group and host a half-day session at the NACD convention that really focuses on the conservation planning partnership, how that has kind of an employees twist to it. So we have employees, we have producers, and we talk about technology, different delivery systems. This year was great. We had about 30 participants, again, all different walks of life and agencies were represented there. And so we walked away feeling pretty good. And we said, okay, well, we're still planning for 2020 leadership convention. We took some comments from the 2019, we took some comments from 2020, and we went forward. And then everything kind of changed. And so we started asking the question, and you can go forward, Ray.
All right.
We started asking the question, what are we going to do now? So we really weren't able to meet in person. Everything was kind of up in the air. Our planning was kind of at a standstill, and it's hard to get people to commit when they're not sure if they're going to be able to plan. But we were still getting comments from folks saying, well, you know, my board already approved me coming to this. And so ultimately we made the decision to cancel the in-person. And then we started talking about, well, now what do? We just say, that's it, we're done. And we didn't want to do that. So we started talking about, of course, all of these different technological options, right? You have Zoom meetings and Teams and Connect and all of that. Whoa. And we wanted something that was going to be accessible to a lot of people. And we wanted something that we were going to be able to use easily. And so that led us to this Convene group. And it's a group that is actually pretty neat. So Convene LLC, it's a membership organization. You buy a membership to it. And you can go forward one.
Okay.
So you buy a membership or a subscription to it, and they provide these monthly webinars. Okay, they're leadership based. They have so many different topics that are presented by expert presenters in their field. Diversity and inclusion, increasing productivity, building healthy relationships, working with different types of people. And the great thing about them is there's also this library of recorded topics. And so we said, this is great, let's do this. And so NCDEA, the board decided this was a great use of some funds that we had. We purchased a subscription to it as an organization. And so we've been able to send these out. We decided initially it was just the Northern Plains and North Central region. We expanded that to all of the regions in the country. So we send those out monthly. We forward them to our other regional directors to encourage folks to participate. And you can see on the next slide that we've had some pretty good participation. We're going on our third panel or our third seminar here coming up, but we've had 175 total views. You can see the first one, we did a little bit more marketing on the first one, so we had right around 80 some people on that one. The great thing about these though, and this is what we really wanted to do, is that people can go back and watch them when they have time. You don't have to commit to an hour on a certain day because we all have very busy schedules, and sometimes things come up and you miss it. So these you can go back to. And once you register, you can go into the library, and if there's something that you're interested in or that you want to do more of, you can go in and choose any of the previous seminars. So we thought this is a really fantastic way for us to reach out to people, to help build that capacity, to still stay in contact. You know, we're reaching out monthly, so our names are out there for folks, even if our faces aren't in person. And we're able to use this platform as kind of a planning tool as well. So you can see when the analytics that popped up, that shows what classes or what seminars people are interested in. So we're planning to use that to help us kind of tailor some of our future leadership presentations based on what we see people are interested in hearing about. So kind of a twofold win. Folks are getting that leadership professional development training. We're getting something out of it and being able to plan a little bit more and still stay connected, even if we can't do the in-person thing. So I think it's been a great opportunity for us. I would be happy to visit with anyone who's interested in learning more about Convene or how we've been using it, how it works, you know, on the back side of it as a user. So, and that's all I have. Thank you.